This is a monkey in a zoo. This monkey doesn't realize that it's constantly being watched by researchers and visitors every day. This monkey represents you, a user of the web. We as users are under constant surveillance by corporations that monitor our every move. What can we call this? Surveillance capitalism. Surveillance capitalism, a process where the company provides free services in return for access to users' personal information and data trails, which are then refined, packaged, and sold to advertisers. So, how does surveillance capitalism play out in our everyday lives? Let's take a look. Let's pretend that this is you, just casually browsing Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter to keep up with your friends, family, and the happenings of the world. But who's watching you from the other side of the screen? Let's change perspectives and approach this through the eyes of a corporation. Companies such as Facebook, YouTube, and Google are able to collect data that informs them about your interests, preferences, searches, and overall internet activity. So what does this look like? Take a minute to look at both of these screens. Which one are you used to seeing? You may be used to looking at the screen with ad blocker turned on. This screen looks normal, but if we look closer, we can see recommended videos that are calculated based off of the videos we frequent. Already, data is being collected about us and catered to us, the user. But let's see what happens when we turn ad blocker off. Take a look at this advertisement. Also looks normal. But how did this come about? Let's take a look at YouTube's advertising page to learn more. As you can see here, YouTube allows businesses to choose their customers based on location, demographic, such as age or parental status, interests, and information that we provide when we sign up for and utilize this platform. This goes to show how our ideas, desires, and discussions are being estimated and matched to corporations online through highly personalized advertisements. Let's take a look at a couple of examples of how they target users. Ever wonder why you see car commercials before or after you've been researching cars? This would be categorized and described to advertisers as topic targeting. Let's scroll up. Anyone planning on graduating soon? Well, Google may know this, and they are capable of tracking these shifts in your life to match brand preferences to the milestones you achieve. Are these tracking methods necessary? It's a good question to ask. Although these social media sites are not the creators of the advertisements we see, their access and distribution of our personal data allows them to directly target us as users, whether we are aware of it or not. Side note, although we are using ad blocker as an example, it is important to remember that even if you use ad blocker, you are still being tracked and your data is still being collected. It is just less of a visual nuisance for you. So how much data are these corporations really getting from you? Let's take a look at a big company, such as Google, to identify how much information they are able to harvest every day. Google, on average, handles 40,000 searches every second. That's 3.5 billion searches a day. Facebook and Google sell this data to third parties who use it for a variety of purposes. Cambridge Analytica may come into mind while talking about this. So what did they do, and why is it a big deal? Essentially, Cambridge Analytica is a political consulting company that focuses on creating strategies for communication in elections. They gathered data from Facebook to create psychological profiles of voters who were placed into groups and were provided specialized campaigns. The company was accused of gathering user data without consent. They supposedly had a huge influence on the 2016 presidential election in America. This controversy has grabbing eyeballs around the globe, but it is important to note that this sort of corporate surveillance happens on a day-to-day basis. As users, we must refrain from immediately pointing fingers and blaming the pervasive culture of data surveillance all on a company like Cambridge Analytica. Instead, we must use these kinds of situations to ask how many companies engage in behavioral advertising and what that means for users around the globe. The Cambridge Analytica scandal has shed some light on the issues of corporate surveillance. It is important for us as users of this digital space to constantly ask questions about where our data is going and what it is being used for. Social media superpowers, such as Facebook, have multiple purposes, and one of their main ones is to collect data, attract a larger following, and sell your data to corporations and advertisers. We have to remember that they may or may not hold our best interests at heart. The more data you give, the more companies earn, and the more they are able to target you again. It's a vicious cycle, and will keep repeating itself due to the nature of capitalism. But as users, it is essential for us to be aware of these proceedings and break out of the gilded cage we live in. Don't be an oblivious monkey, be an aware one.